Hello and welcome. Finding the perfect spot for a base and slowly transforming it into your very own compound is one of the best features in Surroundead. Here are my 5 favorite spots to build a nice home for yourself in the middle of the zombie apocalypse. And channeling my inner German, I tend to use locations which not only provide a nice building, but also take into account a superior logistic positioning on the map, which eliminates any buildings placed on the outskirts of the valley. Of course, the map is not that big once you get a car, so you can totally build a base outside the central areas, but for this list I focus on locations that provide great accessibility in general. Another thing I exclude are the various bunker locations, which are specifically placed to provide you with a nice and clean location to cave in. So if you want to live in a depressing cellar, you can absolutely do that. As soon as you find a nice spot to set up camp, place any item that states block spawns in the description and you have yourself a zombie-free zone whenever you reload or log back into the game. And don't forget, you have a modular tab at the building workbench where you can build your very own shed, house, or use the available set pieces for creating walls inside empty buildings to create cozy rooms for yourself. You can also find various tools like the crowbar to destroy trash piles and clean up your place a bit. Although right now not every kind of trash pile can be destroyed, but the developer is also experimenting with an alternative map where all placed objects in the worlds can be destroyed. No word if that will ever be available on live at the moment. The first location on this list is so good it is borderline boring. Placed almost exactly in the middle of the map, you can find this super clean, really immaculate big industrial complex, fully outfitted with a fence and a gate. You can easily fill the extensive halls with purpose-driven rooms. The small town Whitewood is just around the corner with great loot opportunities and a boss fight to grind some excellent gear early in the game. I personally find this location a bit too boring because it is already pretty much perfect, except for the inner compound not being accessible by car, but you could fix that with building a ramp from the modular building pieces. Another thing to keep in mind is that this location might be used for something else in the future as the game receives more content patches. But right now, it is the cleanest big base layout in a superior location. Excellent if you plan for a long-lasting playthrough. The next location is not far away and a little to the north, providing great access to raids like the observatory, the laboratory or the private bunker. The telecommunications site is my favorite in terms of overall looks. It has a great mix of buildings, you can easily replace the broken parts in the fence, and at the entry you can perfectly place a big gate. It fits exactly in the spot. It makes for a great overall post-apocalyptic compound vibe once you get rid of the trash piles. I also think it has the perfect size, not too big but with plenty of space for some cars and dedicated work or living areas. Additional cars can easily be stored in the big hall next to the main building, and the upper floor of that building is completely empty. You're also pretty close to the valley safe zone with various traders. Then we have the very popular fire station layout, which provides a nice template to set up camp and transform it into a great looking base. Because the building layout is the same, I will show you my 2 favorite spots. The first is directly next to the telecommunications site with the same logistic advantages. The main road directly in front provides easy access to Whitewood, the northern raid locations and the central safe zone. The other abandoned fire station is located here and has also a great overall placement on the map. Here you have a different biome for a nice change in scenery, and it is also a little more tucked away from the main road, which gives it a more desolate vibe. It also is a lot cleaner in terms of trash and built-in furniture, so it is easier to make it your own. In general, the fire stations serve as excellent choices to build a base. If you are looking more for a cozy house and don't want to bother with the modular building system, then this is my favorite abandoned home to start with. It has a near perfect location, you can raid the gun store next to it, and the valley safe zone is just around the corner. The shopping mall directly to the north has great loot and a boss you can farm. The garage fits any vehicle, but be aware, once you build a garage door, only the normal cars will fit, but there's plenty of space to park a truck or your RV next to the house. The big advantage of this home is the total absence of trash piles or built-in furniture, unlike the house next door. As you see, I like to build a fence with some gates and a watchtower, as well as dividing the big room into several smaller ones. This place does not have the spacious layout as the bases before. It is more for those who want to own the house they always dreamed of. Finally affordable now that the real estate market has received a fatal blow and is unlikely to recover anytime soon. And finally, my personal overall favorite, one of the fire towers on the map. There are at least 2 more located in the southern parts of the map, but this one has the most central location and has a super clean layout. Apart from great views, you have immediate access to the town of Grain Valley, the central safe zone, and some radiated areas with great loot, like the damaged nuke, Patient Zero decon tent, and FOB Alpha. From a pure logistics standpoint, it does have the worst positioning of all the bases on this list, but is still somewhat close enough to the center of the map. The big plus is being a fire tower, which are my favorite locations from a purely aesthetic point of view. Without additional buildings, you can place some items directly beneath the tower to protect you from the weather. But building a wooden house from the modular pieces fits perfectly with the wooden tower. You can find plenty of trees close by to gather enough building resources. The single road leading up the hill might not be the most practical solution for a base, but it makes for a nice, desolate and remote feeling away from the zombie-infested hotspots. As an honorable mention on this list, I have to point out the unfinished bridge, which is also quite popular among players. It has an excellent position on the map and is the perfect location from a pure military standpoint. Only one narrow entry point you can easily defend with some turrets and create various defensive layers of walls with very few materials. The only big downside here is that you have to build anything yourself and have no existing buildings to start with. In general, be aware that all of these locations are based on patch 0.6, so things might change or the developer might repurpose existing locations. You can find most furniture assets just by looting, including military crates. Exceptions are kitchen furniture like sinks and fridges, military lockers or walls, and huge storage units like the shipping container. If you plan on building your own home, be prepared to grind tons of wood. The axe with the lowest stamina consumption is your best friend here. The yield is always the same, no matter which kind of axe you are using. But the big high damage fire axe is a stamina hog, so better have a smaller one available for collecting wood. If you need a lot of cement, and you need tons of it for building military walls, the best way to get enough is to set crafting materials availability temporarily to the highest setting and raid the big construction site up here. Just park outside the fence, raid the location, reload, rinse and repeat. You can easily get 15 or more cement per run. After you have enough, simply reset the crafting material availability back to the original setting. If you have trouble aligning certain elements, like fences, or need to slightly merge items into one another, remember you can disable the snap feature, which gives you much more freedom to place items. Manual height adjustment is also your friend when doing freeform placement. If you have more questions or want to add your own base locations to the suggestions, simply comment under the video. I will answer all questions eventually. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you found this to be helpful. For now, this is all about Surroundead. Take good care of yourself and enjoy the zombie apocalypse.